Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and to the hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Abadia from the GMS Toronto camp coming back at you with another one. And a lot of videos are going out right now about I don't know, I guess an individual, who you know, um, is basically, putting off this work, for a job, you know. I'm not gonna, you know, go into detail. There's a lot of brothers out there who, breaking down, the story because, they know much more than I do on that matter. But, this video, is just about, doing the work. That is our, that is our job. That is our job as watchmen. That is our job as his prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai is to do the work. To do the work no matter what. You know, and to not let the cares of this world, you know, um, over kind of overcloud that. Like the truth. This truth. Is important. Doing the work is important. Being a prophet of Yahweh Hashem Shai is a very important duty. So, you got to be out there, in the highways and hedges, and you got to put your videos. That's an order, from our apostles, and just like Apostle Tahar, gave out the order, like not messing with no affiliates, you know, and this that's the spirit right now, because because based off of what Apostle Tahar through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai, deemed the year 2026 to be all about. You're seeing it. The few more days when the so-called year is done, and you're seeing it. A lot of people are going to be exposed. You know, these other Israelite camps are going to be exposed. These so-called affiliates are going to be exposed, and men within even Great Millstone, because there's spies, there's spies amongst among all of us, are gonna be exposed. How about Shimei Shai is gonna expose you frauds out there, frauds out there trying to serve two masters. So anyways, back to the topic. We got to do this work. So I want to start off with Luke 14, starting at verse 25. And there went the great multitudes with them, and he turned and he said unto them, If any man come to me, hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And that's straight up. If you, nothing wrong, to love your mother, your woman, your children, but the Lord comes first. Yahweh Bashim Shai comes first. What's the word I'm looking for? You're not compromised with you know with worldly things. Some people, they love this world. They love Esau's rulership. They love the status they have, or you know what they've able to accomplish. And they put that before Yahweh Shem Shai. If it wasn't for the Lord, you wouldn't even have those things. So you cannot be a disciple of the Lord and not have him in the forefront. Like I said, it's okay. There's not, you're not going off for loving your family, you know loving your job. Maybe some of us have great jobs, but it can't get in the way of doing this work. It can't. There's there's no excuses. You know, through from our apostles. They told us what we have to do. To be a part of GMS, and you got to do it. And if you don't want to do it, then you got to go about your business. Because the Lord ain't begging anyone to be his disciple. We it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be a part of this truth. It's a blessing to be a part of GMS. You know, like I think about it all the time. I think about how I was able to find the brothers over here in Toronto, Canada, and man, it's a blessing because you know you'll see other people out there doing their work and whatnot, but you know it I always found it better because I even thought about okay, maybe do your own thing, but it's always better to be under order. you know it's okay to have brothers above you. It's okay to take orders. To be a disciple for Yahweh Shemi Ashai, you need to know how to take orders. You need to know how to fall in line. You can't be proud about this truth. It's a blessing to know it. The Lord could do away with us at any given moment. Just have you bugging out, take you out the truth like that. And even with this order that Apostle Tahar put out, you're gonna see you know who's really down with order. Because there's a lot of these, especially over there in the States. There's a lot of affiliate camps who give the apostles double honors and whatnot. But now, if they really want to you know be a part of GMS through the Spirit, they're gonna have to get in contact with whatever campus is close. So like I'm going off topic. I'm kind of confusing, not confusing, but talking about two different things at the same time. But that's just that's a spirit. That's what's going on there. A lot of brothers are making videos about that. Verse 27: whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Or which of you, intending to build a water tower, sitteth down first and not counteth the cost, whether he have significant to finish it. So when you're in this this walk, they're in this journey, you have to realize what it comes with. You can't do what you want to do all the time. you know you can't do the lust of your flesh. Sometimes you got to put things aside. A lot of us have families. A lot of us have busy jobs, or whatever the case may be. But you have to find the time. You know, with me, like I said, some of us that have family. You just have to find that time to just have that quiet space. Even for me, like it could be hectic in a house, but just to have whether it's 15, 30 minutes, an hour, just to focus on doing what you got to do. You know, we're doing this to show our Lord that we're worthy of salvation, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah. Our 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 elders in our camp, they're looking to see who's doing the work, and that. But ultimately, we're we ain't doing it for them. We're doing it for ourselves, and we're doing it to show Yahweh Shemi Shai that to have grace on us, to have mercy upon us. Because hard times are coming. and it's these videos that you put out, the time that you go out there, in the different climates, you know, all that is showing, you know, all that is showing our power that, that we're sincere about this, that we truly believe in him, and there's no other way. There's no other way to salvation, you know, other than going through, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is our only way to that. So, you have to do the work. There's no excuse. Luke 9:62, and Yahweh Shai said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. You can't come about and say, you don't want to do a video for, for weeks or for months because, maybe someone's sick in your family, or, the job is busy right now, or, whatever the case may be, because, the Lord could jack you up in that time. The Lord could delete you in that time, for playing around like that. That's what I be thinking. Just like during the Hanukkah, um, I was talking to the elder, and I was, just telling him, like, it's inspiring to see, the leaders, of your camp, they be pushing up videos constantly every day, multiple videos every day. Our apostles are the same way. They're pushing out videos, you know, every day, multiple, and they're up in age, and they still go hard, you know, and it makes you look yourself in the mirror, like, damn, you know, you strive to be like that, and like I was telling my elder, like, when I don't put up a video, or maybe a day or two will go by and I haven't done one, like, I feel like shit, and that fear is on us, that the Lord could just jack us up, take us right out the truth. You never know. Like I said, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. He is not one to play around with. The- you got to count the costs. You're gonna come in this thing. You got to count the costs. You got to realize what you're involved in. It's no game. You know, it's no game. You can't start and not finish. You do that, you putting yourself in a bad place. With the Most High. You come in lukewarm. You trying to serve two masters. You don't want to do videos because you got to study for a job. The Lord will have it that you don't even make it past the first week in that job because you wanted to pull some shit like that. And, like, I get it. We all gotta eat. Everyone's trying to make that bread. Everyone's trying to put that food on the table. I get it. Even for me, I know have a good job, but lately it's been rough. Not working as much. You know, money's more tight. You gotta be smart about how you use your funds. You gotta really analyze where. Not to say I wasn't before. I was always, but you gotta really be pinpointing. Where every dollar is going. And it sucks. But on the flip side of it, I find myself have more time to myself. I'm not as tired because my job is physically demanding. I'm more, I'm outside all the time. So with more time, I'm able to, do more videos, watch more videos, study more videos, and meditate more, pray more. The mind is not, you know, the mind is not in constant, go, go, go. You're able to, you know, sit back, meditate, and then analyze things, spiritually. So, and it's a blessing. And I always think about, let me just get that right now. Um, actually, just hold on. Let me get this first. This is Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So it's just like this is like a command. This is a commandment. You know, you gotta present your body as a living sacrifice. You can't always do what you want to do. You know, sometimes you just gotta lock in. Lock in. Do the work. Me personally, I always feel better after doing the work. When I don't do it, man, I feel like shit, and I'm scared. I'm scared what the Most High may do to me. You know, so you can't play around, and shit happens. Shit happens. Sometimes you get busy, but like the Lord knows. Yahweh Shem Yahshai knows those who sincere, about following Him. You know, so maybe if you miss one day, the next day you make sure you don't miss that. But whatever the case may be, you can't be taken off, weeks or months. We got to do the work. Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world. This world will have you wrapped up in stuff, you know, and that Esau's wicked because the way things are set up, you got to grind, you got to work, you got to pay bills, got to make that car payment. Groceries is hella expensive. Some of us have seeds. We got to take care of our seeds, but we can't be too wrapped up in this place. This place is almost up. Esau's time is almost up. And all praises that we don't have to endure much longer. Yahweh Shai, he's out the door. He's coming. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is not good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. That's doing that work. Making those videos. Going to camp. That's another one. When I miss camp, I feel like shit. You know, you want to be there. You want to be around the brothers. This is Matthew 6:33, and I always think about this. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So I think to myself, man, fuck, work slow. Shit's getting hard. It's getting. Now this is just me speaking on my own. What I'm going through. Many other brothers are going through their own thing, family issues, health issues. But just your things suck right now. It ain't fun. But just continue to seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And He's always gonna find a way for us. I meditate on this scripture. No matter what it is that I'm going through, don't stop seeking Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. No matter what. In sickness and in health, don't stop seeking Him. He will provide. Yeah, it's rough, but have a roof over our head, we're able to eat. Yeah, you're not, I can't always do all the can't be traveling, can't be doing, fun things, but it's all good. The Lord, I'm a homebody. I don't like being out there. I don't like being around people. I hate going to the mall. I gotta go to the mall to buy something tomorrow. I hate going to the mall. I'd rather just be in the comfort of my home. I don't like dealing with people. I need to say, needless to say, just gotta continue to seek Yahweh Shem Yahushai. As long as we're doing that, the Lord's gonna take care of us. He's brought us to this point. He's brought us to this point. How the hell are we gonna get through Jacob's trouble? It only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get scarier. You gotta continue to seek Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and by doing so, doing the work, putting out them videos, watching the brothers' videos, being out there with our brothers out there, during camp, in the cold, in the rain, in the heat, wind, all the elements. Take therefore, verse 34, take therefore no thought for tomorrow shall take thought of the things in itself. Significant unto the day is the evil thereof. So don't be worrying about tomorrow. Just worry about the now. This is 2 Timothy 4 in the GNT, in the presence of the Most High and of Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, who will judge the living and the dead. And because he is coming to rule as king, I solemnly urge you to preach the message, to instant upon proclaiming it, whether the time is right or not. You gotta do it. Gotta do it. Whether the time is right or not, whether it fits your schedule or doesn't fit your schedule, make it work. Make it work. Even for me, sometime in my job, they have that overtime on the weekend, them full overtime shifts, and that's good extra money. But it affects the camp. It affects my camp days because I can't make it to camp if I'm doing that shit. You know what I mean? It tightens up the schedule. So more times I've had to, can't do that. It sucks because that's a good amount of money, that can't come in. But my fear of what how Bashim Al may do to me for missing camp day in order to go to work, just keeps me from doing that. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes brothers have to work. But the point is, it can't be a constant thing. It can't be a constant thing where work is making you miss being out there, or work is making you too tired to do the videos. You know. This is Matthew 19:27, the disciples' reward. So there's a reward coming. There's a reward coming for those who put off the things of this world. So this is verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in a throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So those of us that forsake the things of this life, your family, your woman, your child, your job, your friends, those of us who put these things off and put Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in front are going to receive 100-fold. And we don't even know what that looks like. We don't even know what that looks like. But that keeps us charged up. That gives us hope. That gives us faith. That we're investing. By you're investing in yourself by doing the work. There's like a people out there in the world will invest into certain stocks, and make a whole lot of money off of it, and get rich. That's what we're doing. We're out there. We're doing the videos, doing the work. We're doing this to receive 100-fold, to receive even more than we can ever imagine. Because the things of this life is gonna pass away. It's not forever. Yes, it's important. You gotta do what you gotta do. You can't let it get in front. You can't let it get in the way of doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So you just gotta, keep going. Keep seek ye first the kingdom of the Lord. That's important. Don't do the work. There's no excuses. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'd like to close out by giving all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, and peace, blessing, and safety to the Akim of their fondest truth and sincerity. I pray this lesson was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.